I love the concept of discomfort and using discomfort to move you forward, even though, of course, I don't love the feeling all the time of being uncomfortable. So this idea of using discomfort to move you forward, basically it's still taking the approach where you plan things out and you're strategic about what you're going to do. But if there is anything that you believe will move you forward, but it is making you uncomfortable, you do it anyway. So it's not like you're going to just go out and do anything and everything that makes you uncomfortable if there's no sense behind it. So especially in business, I mean, there is so much information and knowledge that we have to learn, especially when we're just getting started. The internet is flooded with information. I mean, there's tons of books and podcasts and resources. And I'm finding that it's an industry, especially the online business industry, no matter if you're in health and fitness or really any other business, it's ever changing and there's a lot to know. And sometimes it can feel really overwhelming. But the reality is that, we do have to keep learning and keep growing, but there's no way that we're going to kind of know it all, and we don't have to be an expert in all of it. So as you're learning and kind of building your knowledge base of business, and it takes time, of course, there's going to be things that you learn along the way that have worked for other people, or that all the experts say, and things that you believe you should be doing, but maybe they make you a little bit uncomfortable. So the discomfort challenge, or using discomfort to move you forward in business, is really using these things that you feel like you don't want to do only because they make you uncomfortable. And maybe if they make you uncomfortable, you push it aside and you don't do it and you focus on other things. But I challenge you to do these things that make you uncomfortable, because it really is where we grow. It's where we grow, like, personally, but they also have the potential to really move our business forward. So I think a really great example, and this is something that I personally have struggled with and still struggle with a little bit, is using social media for business. So we know that social media is a wonderful tool. We are able to get in front of tons of people for really a pretty minimal cost. Of course, if you run Facebook ads, that's going to cost some money and it can get pricey. But if we think about it, if we were starting a business before the internet, we would either have to really have a brick or mortar, which means you're paying rent and utilities and all of that stuff. And if not, you'd have to do some kind of marketing. So you'd still be paying for whether it's newspaper ads, radio ads, billboards. So if you're going to have a business, I think you've always had to pay startup costs and marketing costs. Now we really can get started for a minimal amount, and can actually market for a very minimal amount too. If you want to move to the next level, you do have to pay to play, I believe. But we have a lot at our fingertips. So we have a lot of potential, but we also have a lot of information. So using social media, I think sometimes scares people, because you are putting yourself out there, you're putting your business out there in front of not only your potential clients, but your friends and family, right? Because our friends and family are on social media. So it's early morning when I'm recording this video, so we need coffee. So that can be something that, we know social media has the potential to grow our business, but oftentimes, especially video or personal stories, or anything about our business, is putting ourselves out there because we are afraid of what people might think about us. We are afraid that if we announce that we're doing this business and we fail, then everybody's going to think we're a failure. So all of these feelings of kind of uncomfortableness and doing these things that make us uncomfortable, the only reason is because of ourselves, even though we know that it has the potential to move our business forward. So those are the cases where you really want to think about, what can you do that you've maybe been putting off because it makes you uncomfortable, or because you're afraid of failing, or whatever it is, that has the potential to move your business forward. So another example might be reaching out to like podcasts or blogs or websites or magazines, or these sources that you would like to be featured on. Now, they might say no to you, and that's uncomfortable, and that's your fear of failure kind of holding you back. But, let's say you reach out to 20 and one says yes. Well, that opportunity now may grow you and move you forward. So these are just little examples of how you can use discomfort to move you forward. Now, just because you do the action whether you have success or don't have success, really doesn't matter. The idea is that you're getting started and you're getting used to being uncomfortable, because running a business, you are going to run into lots of times where you feel like you're a failure or where you've tried things that have failed. You're going to get uncomfortable. Things are going to make you uncomfortable. So the more you can get used to it, embrace it, and the more you can almost look for these opportunities to almost just be okay with saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be okay if it doesn't work out the way I want it to, because I'm going to learn from it and it's going to propel me forward. So a really great example that I like to give is reaching out to somebody who you would like to work with. And let's say that they're maybe a step ahead of you and you don't think that you're adequate enough, but you reach out anyway and they don't write back. So you follow up. And maybe you never hear from them. Maybe they kindly say no, whatever happens, doesn't matter, because if something works out, great, but if it doesn't, well, then you learned a little bit. Maybe you learned about, what you could say in that email. Maybe you learned a little bit more about fostering a relationship before asking for something. Maybe you got over that first, kind of hump of doing something uncomfortable, and now you feel more comfortable reaching out to somebody else. And it's not going to take you days to hem and haw over sending that email. You're just going to get more comfortable at putting yourself out there and putting yourself around people who have the potential to really impact your business. So that's the idea with discomfort. It's really just about using discomfort to move you forward, to learn and to grow. So I challenge you to get out of your comfort zone more often and don't let it hold you back.